Today I'll show you how to create a new vertical composition in After Effects that's perfectly set up for portrait content like Instagram Reels, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts. By the end of this tutorial, you'll know exactly which settings to use so your video looks sharp, smooth, and correctly framed on mobile devices. Let's start from the very beginning inside After Effects. With the program open and your project ready, the first thing you need to do is create a new composition. A composition is basically the canvas where all of your animation, graphics, and video layers will live. To create one, go up to the top menu bar and click on Composition, then select New Composition from the drop-down. If you prefer using shortcuts, you can press Ctrl+N on Windows or Command+N on a Mac. Both will open the same New Composition settings window. It's a good idea to get used to that shortcut because you'll be creating new comps all the time. Once the new composition window opens, you'll see several options that control how your final video will look. We're going to focus on setting this up for a vertical portrait style video. That means we want our composition to be taller than it is wide, which is ideal for phones held upright. Look for the resolution or pixel dimensions, usually labeled as width and height. Set the width to 1080 pixels. This is the standard horizontal size for high definition video and will give you a nice crisp image. Next, set the height to 1920 pixels. This makes the composition taller, and combined with the width of 1080, it creates a 9:16 aspect ratio. That's the portrait format used by most social media platforms for full-screen vertical video. If your width and height were reversed with 1920 as the width and 1080 as the height, that would be a landscape 16:9 format, which is great for traditional horizontal videos. But for this tutorial, make sure it's 1080 wide and 1920 tall to stay in the portrait layout. After setting the resolution, the next important setting is the frame rate. The frame rate controls how many individual images or frames are shown every second of your video. A higher frame rate generally means smoother motion, especially if there's a lot of movement, camera pans, or transitions. In the frame rate drop-down, choose either 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. Both are widely supported online. If you want a standard cinematic feel that still looks smooth, 30 frames per second is a great choice. If you're working with fast action gaming clips or you just want ultra smooth playback, go with 60 frames per second. Just keep in mind that 60 frames per second can result in slightly larger file sizes since it's storing more frames per second of video. Once you've set the width to 1080, the height to 1920, and the frame rate to either 30 or 60, take a moment to double check everything. It's much easier to adjust these settings now than to realize later that your video is in the wrong orientation. When you're happy with the settings, click the OK button at the bottom of the window. After Effects will create your new composition and you'll see a tall vertical frame appear in the composition panel. This is your working space for any graphics, text, or footage you want to design for vertical viewing.